In the first reading today, St. Paul speaks to us about the works of the flesh versus the fruit of the Spirit. He says, if you're guided by the Spirit, you are not under the law. And this is important, because it's not saying that, therefore, we can do whatever we want and, we won't be, we don't have to worry about not getting to heaven. Rather, what he's saying is that our hearts will be so conformed to the will of God, we will not want to do anything against His will. In the technical terms, this is the difference between ethic and ethos. Ethic is an outward norm that tells us, how we are to live. Ethos is that our hearts are conformed to that norm. And so what the difference is the difference between someone who's railing against one of the commandments, saying, how dare you tell me I can't do this, versus someone else who has absolutely no desire to do it because their heart is so conformed to the will of God. They don't need that commandment. We only need the commandments that we don't want to do, right? All the times that we have our hearts conformed to God, we don't need those commandments because we want to do what's right. We want to do what's good. So we hear about this. He says, the works of the flesh are obvious: immorality, impurity, licentiousness, idolatry, sorcery, hatreds, rivalry, jealousy, outbursts of anger, acts of selfishness, dissensions, factions, and occasions of envy, drinking bouts, orgies, and the like. Now my guess is probably there aren't any of you who are having issues with the works of the flesh when it comes to orgies, but we may have other things in here that are a problem. Acts of selfishness, outbursts of fury. In this divided country, in our political state, hatreds seem to be out there a lot. Maybe jealousy. These things which divide us. And St. Paul says, I warn you, as I warned you before, those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. Reminder, we don't just go to heaven automatically. That's not the default unless we're a Hitler or a Stalin. No, we have to turn our lives over to God. He says, in contrast, the fruit of the Spirit, and it's singular, works of the flesh, but the fruit of the Spirit. Meaning there is a unity, a wholeness, those who are guided by the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. That as we continue to grow in the Spirit, these things grow in us as fruit. They grow naturally. This love and joy and peace. So we ask the Lord, conform our hearts. Conform our hearts to yours, Lord. Too often I want to do my own things. I want to be that selfish person, doing what I want, when I want, the way I want. Lord, that doesn't lead to your heart. Conform my heart to yours, so that I may bear good fruit, so that I may live by the Spirit.